some answer from somebody. For example, suppose if I have to ask, Veena takes class at 1 o'clock, isn't it? So the section of isn't it, ये जो छोटे से दो शब्द बाद में लगे हैं, these last two words are actually intending or forcing the listener to give an answer to it. So that becomes a question tag. Normally what happens, we have been told and we have learned that questions are framed with those 5 questions with H also there. Which and what and where, those. No, here we are talking about the question tag section there. And how do you frame it? How do you make it? That we are going to discuss in further our lesson here. So just trying to make us understand the tags. पहले tag को समझ लेते हैं. You are a musician, aren't you? अरे तुम गाना गाती हो ना? है ना? सही है ना? वाकई में हम इस तरह से जब लास्ट के कुछ सेक्शंस में सवाल लगा देते हैं तो हम उससे उस पर्टिकुलर चीज के लिए जवाब मांग रहे होते हैं, वो कहलाते हैं टैग्स. ओके, ये टैग्स एक वाक्य के रूप में भी आ सकते हैं हमारे सामने. एक अचानक से किसी खुशी को जाहिर करते हुए या कोई नाराजगी को जाहिर करते हुए इस तरह की जब सोच भी लगाई जाती है साथ में, तो वो टैग्स तब भी दिखाई जा सकती है, तब भी हमारे अटैचमेंट हो सकते हैं. बट अभी जो हम आज जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं, दीज आर ओनली रिलेटेड टू क्वेश्चंस. आज today what we are going to learn is the tags which are working, which are being denoted, which are being understood as question tags, because you are looking for an answer from the other person. She can't swim, can she? Now we can also say, can she swim? But another way of see it, again going back to the same thought which I have always been preaching about it, that you will always have to frame a sentence as per your emotions. कभी आपका मन करेगा किसी से डायरेक्ट कोई सवाल पूछने का, कभी आपको मेलो डाउन करके सवाल पूछना पड़ता है. डिपेंड करता है कि मेरा सामने वाले से बिहेवियर या मेरा सामने वाले से, नॉट आई नॉट कोट द वर्ड बिहेवियर, रिलेशन कैसा है, अकॉर्डिंगली तो मैं सवाल पूछ पाऊंगी कि ये शी कांट स्विम, कैन शी स्विम, क्योंकि कुछ पर्सनलाइज्ड क्वेश्चंस भी आ जाते हैं. सो अकॉर्डिंगली वी आर यूजिंग इट. नो, अपैरेंटली शी नेवर लर्नड एज अ चाइल्ड. So that's a kind of an answer I'm getting. नहीं, उसने तो भी सीखा ही नहीं बचपन से, तो वो नहीं जानती है स्विमिंग करना. So Niharika plays the guitar, doesn't she? Yes, she does. Now, there is one more thing that you need to pay attention to. It says you are a.
শুক্রবারটা আসবে, তাহলে তুমি ঘরে থাকতে পারবে. প্রত্যেক সপ্তাহতেই ভাবি কবে শুক্রবার আসবে.
I'm so sorry. They were talking and they unmuted themselves. Just pay attention to these question tags and I'll just go to page 2. You are a musician, aren't you? She can't swim, can she? Niharika plays the guitar, doesn't she? Now, when the sentence says that you are trying to frame with a question tag, you see that when you are talking in a positive way, the question comes in the not part there. When you are framing a sentence in the negative, the question will come in the positive part. Also, look at the kind of helping verbs that you are using. You are using you are. Negative lagao, aren't you? She can she? Niharika plays the guitar. Now, here, when you have a sentence which does not have a helping verb, it has got only one main as a verb working, we use do, did, and does as a question tag. Okay, now again remember this, whenever we are framing a question tag, we take the helping verb, place it in the last, and the kind of subject that we have. If the subject is he or she, depending on the subject, whether it is which gender it is, so accordingly you place it in the last because you are framing it for that. So what are the few things that you're going to remember for question tags? I'll just repeat it with the help of these slides. See, when you have the main clause, what do you understand by this section of main clause? First of all, सारा का सारा वाक्य जो उस पर्टिकुलर बात को कहना चाहता है वो उसके अंदर निर्धारित है. Whatever you are trying to say, whatever you want to converse, whatever you want to tell the other person is coming in that section of thought. That becomes my main clause. जैसे एक example है he said are you going to the party. अब तुम सोचोगे are you going in the party मेन क्लॉज हो गया, नहीं, उसका कहना, उसने क्या कहा वो मेन क्लॉज नहीं है, पर he said that becomes a main clause. I hope you are clear. Now here it says he is working as a tour guide. ये मेन बात है, और फिर आप उस पे सवाल उठा के कह रहे हो कि isn't he. This is the way you frame your question tags. How do you frame your question tags? Take the main clause first, okay? And the main clause, if it is coming in the positive, ensure that the question will be in the negative. Put not there. Pick the helping verb, then put the not, and then go back to and see what the subject is. The subject is what? Which gender it is talking about. If the gender is talking about male, he, feminine, she. And if it is commonly coming up with the plural aspect there, then we are going to use accordingly the pronoun. Okay. So when it says he is working as a tour guide, who is working? He is working. So what is the subject here? Which is the subject here? Sorry, he. Which is the helping verb? Is. We take this is and then we put not. Now do the contraction there. O ko hatao, contraction lagao, T. Isn't. That's the pronunciation, isn't he? And why he? Because my subject was he. Your mother was Scottish. Your mother was Scottish. Which is the helping verb here? Was. I take was. Now here it is giving a positive statement कि तुम्हारी mother Scottish थी, right? तो Scottish थी मतलब इसको negative पे मुझे पूछना पड़ेगा तभी वो सवाल का जवाब आ पाएगा. Wasn't who? Because it's a mother. The gender is feminine. It has to be she. Put a question mark because it's a question tag. She plays the piano. Now here she plays the piano. Here you have a subject she. You have only one main verb, plays the piano, the object that we have with the article there. So here what is happening, because there is no helping verb, we are going to use do, does, this, depending on what we are supposed to use there. So it is does, doesn't she? That is the way we frame it. The shops don't open till 9. Here it is already in the negative part there. So here what is happening? We are going to use do they. The shops do not open till 9. So do is what? Because do not, do is having the helping verb there. So I use as a question tag do, and then what do I do? Because it is shops, I'm using they. Hope it is clear. So please remember, pick up the helping verb, put the subject pronoun, and then the question tag. When we use auxiliary, be, do, or have, a modal verb or a main verb, be in the main clause, the same verb is used as a tag. अभी मैंने आपको यही बात बहुत clearly, specifically with examples बताने की कोशिश करी है. जब हमारे पास is है, तो हम question tag में is ले रहे हैं. जब हमारे पास do modal verb आ रहा है, तब हम do ले रहे हैं. जब हमारे पास was है, be form है, we are keeping the was as my question tag here. Please remember it. She was crying, wasn't she? So what is it? She was crying is something a positive section in the sense इसमें not इस्तेमाल नहीं हुआ है. तो question में आप not लगा दीजिए. अगर यहाँ पे she was not crying आएगा तो हम लिख देंगे was she. Not की फिर जरूरत हमें नहीं पड़ेगी. Going to the next, please try and choose this. देखिए. I'm just trying to reload one another question tag. खोल के देखती हूँ शायद chat उसमें नजर आ जाए मुझे. Yes, here I can see the correct answers, but not the chat here also. I can see the correct answers, but I can't see the chat, so I'm really sorry. I can see Paul, Rajesh, Swan, Fatima, Deepak, and Golam giving me the right answer. I think Krishna Reddy has joined me. Can you read this sentence, Krishna Reddy?
Yes, ma'am.
Come.
He does look like his father, doesn't he?
हाँ, very good. I wanted that expression, doesn't he? सवाल को सवाल के जैसे ही पूछो, पढ़ो नहीं एक सिंपल सेंटेंस के जैसे. You need to put लास्ट के कॉमा के बाद में जो doesn't he लगा रहे हो उस पे आपको प्रेशर डालना पड़ेगा does के ऊपर, तभी वो सवाल की जैसे आएगा. Really liked it. He does look like his father, doesn't he? Okay. Next, Ajay, try. I'm just trying to reload. Please allow me to do that because I want to see the chat. So thoda sa I don't understand problem kya hui hai. I can't see the chat. I'm sorry. Students, if you are putting any questions on the chat, it is not visible to me. So I can't see it. I'm really sorry for this. Krishna, Fatima, Golam, Dinesh, Satish, and Deepak have given us the right answer. Coming to the pro learners here, can I call Fatima?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please read this sentence for me?
Yeah, they have waited a long time, haven't they?
They have waited a long time, haven't they? Great. Thank you, Fatima. Now, because it is they have, so we are using here have again. And here, because the subject pronoun that we had was they, so we are using it in the end, they after have and not and they, and then the question there. That's the framing of question tags. Come along. We have Rajesh with us. Rajesh, could you be in a position to read this sentence when the answer pops up, please?
You are Danish. Do you are not you? Second one are not.
No, it is not read. Are not नहीं पढ़ेंगे राजेश. इसको पढ़ेंगे aren't you.
Aren't you?
दोबारा पढ़ो पूरा sentence.
You are Danish. Aren't you?
अच्छा, it is not Danish. It is yes, we can say Danish. I'm sorry for that. You are Danish, aren't you? तुम ही राजेश हो ना? Isn't it? हम ऐसे ही बोलेंगे ना राजेश?
Yeah.
बिकॉज वहां पे यू शब्द इस्तेमाल में हुआ है तो यू के साथ हमेशा याद रखिएगा जो भी सेकंड पर्सन की बात करते हैं ना यू की जब हम बात करेंगे whenever we are using this you can be used in two sense. It can be used in singular also. I can point out on Rajesh and say you are not listening, right? And I can point out on all the 300 students and say you are not listening to me. So I can use you that way, but the helping verb with you will always be are. Okay, so that is the reason the question tag is coming with aren't you. Now, if there is no auxiliary, when there is no auxiliary, there is no helping verb, there is no modal verb. In the main clause, we use auxiliaries do, does, did in the tag. बस ये एक छोटा सा एक्स्ट्रा लिवरेज है. बहुत इजी है क्वेश्चन टैग बनाना क्योंकि आपके पास हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स 90% मिल जाते हैं पर 10% नहीं भी मिलते. जैसे यहाँ पे एक एग्जांपल अभी थोड़ी देर पहले गया था ही प्लेस. अब ही प्लेस अपने आप में इट्स अ फुल सेंटेंस देयर. You have a subject, you have a verb, you have a proper sense meaning part that is being expressed there. Now, how to frame a question for that? He plays, doesn't he? So I have to use do, does, and did, and then put a question tag there. He plays cricket, doesn't he? Now, cricket as an object is mentioned there, but there is no extra helping verb. There is no modal verb mentioned here. So you will now with the section of will, which is used for the future part. Will एक ऐसा auxiliary verb है जो हम future को denote करने की बात करते हैं. You will attend my class tomorrow. So something which is going to happen, I'm going to use this auxiliary form will. So you will come to the party tomorrow. यहाँ पे will को will you नहीं करके हम उसको करते हैं won't you. That shift, that is the change that we are going to do. Whenever we are using the future auxiliary will, we are going to use won't. But if suppose you are using auxiliary में ही won't, then the question tag will change into will. Again the same logic. फिर वापस से उसी बात को याद करिए. जब हम मेन क्लॉज को पॉजिटिव लेके चलते हैं मतलब वहां हमने कहीं नॉट का इस्तेमाल ही नहीं किया. सो देन जब हम सेंटेंस क्वेश्चन टैग बनाते हैं वहां हमको नॉट लगाना पड़ेगा. लेकिन अगर हमने मेन क्लॉज में नॉट लगा रखा है तो क्वेश्चन टैग के अंदर हमें नॉट नहीं लगाना है. सेम रूल अप्लाइज विद समथिंग इन ऑक्सिलरी विद विल. इफ यू आर यूजिंग वोंट in the main clause, then in the question tag it will be will. If you are using will in the main clause, then in the question tag it is going to be won't. Please remember that. Let's go to the next and try this out. Come. Okay, 1 second. On mute. Savan, can you hear me? I can see that you are with us. Savan,
Yes, ma'am.
could you please read the sentence for me, please? And all the pro-learners, please be on the attentive mode because मेरे पास आज सिर्फ आप ही students हो. बाकी 300 है उनको मैं देख नहीं सकती.
ये जो बताएगा
Yes,
madre बच्चे
Savan, please read the sentence.
Doesn't see.
Okay. She dances beautifully, doesn't she? I can understand. You can put yourself on mute, please. Okay, Fatima and Sundar have given the right answer. Rajesh also, but Dipesh has given us the wrong. Savan is right. The girls wanted to go home. Please look at the subject. Subject is in the plural state. Girls. Okay. So यहाँ पे जो आपका pronoun लगेगा, subject pronoun लगेगा, वो plural form में आएगा. So the girls wanted to go home. So when the girls are wanting to go home, what are you going to place there? Didn't they? Because here it is one main verb, wanted. There is no auxiliary, no do modal form there. So you are using do, did, or does. Here it is didn't they. Now you need to practice it to understand where to use what. Come.
Hello, last side. Are they are also plural, right?
Huh? Who is
We
this,
can-
Rajesh?
हाँ, are they? that
राजेश
is-
लिसन, ध्यान से सुनो बात को. राजेश, आर क्या है? ऑक्सिलरी फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब है, हेल्पिंग वर्ब है. दे आर लिसनिंग टू मी. आर यहाँ पे एक हमेशा हमेशा ही जो बीई फॉर्म के वर्ब्स होते हैं ना, फिर चाहे वो इज हो, वॉज हो, आर हो, वर हो, ये सब एक हेल्पिंग वर्ब होता है. मतलब मेरे पास जो मेन वर्ब है ना, उसके साथ में मुझे इसको अटैच करना पड़ेगा. और ये कैसे होगा राजेश? हमने सीखा था सब्जेक्ट वर्ब के साथ में. लेकिन ये जो सेंटेंस अभी तुमने देखा, वहां पे आर मेंशन्ड है कहीं पर?
No, not mentioned in the main class.
So is there any verb that you can find out in this sentence?
Sorry?
Any other verb? अगर आर नहीं है तो कोई तो वर्ब होगा ना सेंटेंस में.
Go.
The girls wanted to go home. तो कितने सारे verbs यहाँ पे आपको दिखाई दे रहे हैं. ऑक्सिलरी फॉर्म नहीं दिख रहा है ना तुम्हें यहाँ पे, कोई मोडल वर्ब नहीं दिख रहा है. हाँ, तो जब ऑक्सिलरी नहीं है, मोडल नहीं है, तो तुम आर कैसे ले सकते हो? आर तो ऑक्सिलरी फॉर्म है.
Yeah.
ऐसे केस में राजेश आपको डू, डीओ डू, डीआईडी डिड, डीओईएस, इन तीनों में से किसी का इस्तेमाल करना पड़ेगा फ्रेमिंग ऑफ द क्वेश्चन टैग के लिए. ठीक है?
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next and try this out. No, this is a learning. If the main clause verb is, अगर आपके main clause के अंदर used to, USEDTO, अगर ये आपके main clause में लिखा हुआ आता है, तो आपको question tag कौन सा बनाना होगा? Did के साथ बनाना होगा. Because obviously you will come up with this understanding कि मैम फिर हमें ये तो बताइए कहाँ काम, कौन सा किस में काम मिलेंगे, right? So जब आपके question main clause जो आप बात कहना चाहते हैं, जिसके लिए आप सवाल पूछेंगे, question tag जिसके साथ लगाएंगे. So when you are trying to frame a main clause, and in this main clause you do not have any helping verb, but the main clause is having these two words together, used to. You are going to use your question tag with did. D-I-D, did. Martin used to live in Oxford, didn't he? Here it is used to. Yes, that's right. That's an answer that is expected. If the main clause verb is ought to, अगर मेन क्लॉज में जैसे यहाँ सेंटेंस में यूज्ड टू आया, वैसे ही वहां सेंटेंस के जो मेन क्लॉज है, जो मेन बात कहना चाहते हैं, उसके अंदर ought to लिखा हुआ आएगा, तब वहां पे टैग वर्ब जो हमें, द टैग वर्ब इज मोस्ट कॉमनली should or less commonly ought. We ought to leave now. Really? Shouldn't we? So that means whenever we are using the main clause में ought to काम में ले रहे हैं, वहां पे हमारा जो क्वेश्चन टैग जाएगा वो जाएगा should के साथ में, shouldn't we? और ये एक बहुत कम काम में आता है, we ought to leave now. Really ought to we? It is, I think, the rarest and the rare, because ought to is something which is these days also become very uncommon. Language is something which the more you use, the most common things that you use becomes a regular usage in people around. For example, you can see these days people have shut down the spelling and a as soon as possible को ASP करके छोड़ दिया उन्होंने. अब ये एक नए तरह से language create हो रही है. तो आप देखेंगे whenever we are dealing with languages ना, whatever things are getting, it's not that we can't use it. This has become obsolete. So it's a very uncommon thing. It's not wrong. Please don't misunderstand me. It's not wrong, but this has become very uncommon. So when you are using ought to, put your question with should. The question tag will be should. When you are using used to, your question is going to be with did. When we now here, let's go to the next and understand this. When tags follow imperatives, the tag verb is usually will. Remind me this evening, will you? So जब हम imperatives की बात करते हैं, जब हमने imperatives feelings के बारे में बात करनी है, तब हमको किस तरह से इस्तेमाल में लेना है? Just 1 second. 1 second, please. I'm trying to play with this. अब आपको पहले मुझे लगता है थोड़ा सा imperative. You know people what is imperatives. Imperatives उस तरह के वाक्य होते हैं या उस तरह का मूड किसी ने आपके सामने शो करा होता है जिसमें वो आपको कोई मैसेज कैसे कन्वे कर रहा है, कमांड की जैसे कन्वे करता है, एक रिक्वेस्ट की जैसे कन्वे करता है, या आपको जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल से ब्रिंग मी अ ग्लास ऑफ वाटर, ये एक कमांड तो नहीं है, बट हाँ एक रिक्वायरमेंट हो सकती है एक आदमी की, वो किस तरह से आपको अपनी मैसेज को कन्वे कर रहा है. इसको हम कमांड नहीं कह सकते, हम रिक्वेस्ट भी कह सकते हैं कि हाँ भाई एक गिलास पानी पिला दो, ये रिक्वेस्ट भी हो सकती है. और अब फॉरबिडन थिंग्स, ये सारी के सारे आपके इंपेरेटिव सेक्शंस में जाते हैं आपके साथ में. फाइन. सो पहले तो इंपेरेटिव सेक्शन को अगर आपने समझ लिया हो तो आप ये देखिए, रिमाइंड मी दिस इवनिंग, ये क्या है? एक तरह का रिक्वेस्ट. अरे मैं भूल जाता हूँ यार, जरा प्लीज याद दिला देना. So it's a request. So whenever we are talking about the imperative sentences, you will have to make a question tag with will. Will you? Okay. Let's try the next. Right. कोशिश करिए. I used to chew my nails as a child. I used to. Now look at this word used to. Just look at this. This is your main clause, right? So you are using used to here. When you use used to, you put here did. Now when I say I used to chew my nails as a child, जब मैंने ये sentence पढ़ा, इस sentence में कहीं भी not not नहीं लिखा हुआ है. बिकॉज यहाँ नॉट नहीं लिखा हुआ है तो मैंने उसको क्वेश्चन टैग में लिखा. डिड तो मुझे समझा ही दिया है, यूज्ड टू लिखने के साथ में डिड लिखना है, फिर वहां पे मुझे नॉट लगाना है. अब एनओटी पूरा लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, एन लिख के कॉन्ट्रैक्शन लिखो और फिर टी लिखो, एंड देन टेक अप द सब्जेक्ट वर्ब व्हिच इज आई. गुड देयर पॉल, गौतम, फातिमा, अंकित, राजेश एंड सावन. लेट्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट एंड अंडरस्टैंड दिस. क्वेश्चन टैग्स टर्न स्टेटमेंट्स इनटू यस और नो. सवाल जो तुम पूछ रहे हो मेन क्लॉज के साथ में, उसके जो जवाब आएंगे वो आपके लिए एक सिंपल सेंटेंसेस बन जाते हैं. अब वो सेंटेंसेस ना होके एक स्टेटमेंट की जैसे आ जाते हैं, और वो होते हैं हमारे पास, दे आर सपोज्ड टू बी ऑफ टू टाइप्स व्हिच इज द फर्स्ट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन टैग कंसिस्ट ऑफ एन अफर्मेटिव मेन क्लॉज. and a negative tag, or a negative main clause and an affirmative tag. I'll pick up the sentence and then we can talk about it. Negative tags are most commonly used in the contracted form. She is a teacher. She is a teacher. Now this is supposed to be the main clause. Isn't she is the tag. यहाँ पे आपको दिख रहा होगा, the sentence is very clearly saying. Now when we say she is a teacher, we are trying to affirm something. We are trying to फॉर्म अ सेंटेंस, मेक अ सेंटेंस जिसमें हम ये बात तयशुदा तरीके से कहते हैं कि भाई वो एक टीचर है, आप अफर्म करते हो उस चीज को, और उसके साथ में आप नेगेटिव टैग लगाते हो. मैं बार बार ये बात को रिपीट कर रही हूँ क्योंकि यहीं पे गलती सबसे ज्यादा होती है. सो टेक अ मेन क्लॉज, check if the main clause is an affirmative part, it is deciding and saying you for surety. उसके बाद में मैंने आपके लिए साधारण कर दिया उसको कह के कि अगर उसमें नॉट नहीं है तो आप लास्ट में नॉट लगाइए सब्जेक्ट के साथ में, जो आप हेल्पिंग वर्ब लगाएंगे और फिर नॉट लगाइएगा उसके साथ में. यहाँ हम थोड़ा और डिस्टिंक्टिव तरीके से आपको समझा रहे हैं कि अगर आप अफर्मेटिव सेंटेंसेस की बात कर रहे हैं तो वहां आप अफर्मेटिव क्लॉज के साथ में नेगेटिव टैग लगाएंगे. ही हैजंट ईटन येट. अब ये एक नेगेटिव थॉट हो गया ना, उसने अभी तक नहीं खाया है. खाया था क्या? तो तभी तो उसको खाया था बोलोगे ना, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी नेगेटिव हम पहले ले चुके हैं. सो वी कैन यूज टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन टैग्स. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो हमारा पहला जो हमने अभी समझा है, व्हेन वी एक्सपेक्ट द आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन टू कंफर्म दैट व्हाट वी सेड इन द मेन क्लॉज इज ट्रू. तो हम ये क्यों इस तरह से लगाते हैं क्वेश्चन टैग्स में, इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस को हम कैसे पूछते हैं अफर्मेटिव के साथ में नेगेटिव लगा के, क्योंकि हम उसमें हाँ एक्सपेक्ट करना चाहते हैं सामने वाले से, उसका आंसर हम हाँ चाहते हैं. दैट इज द रीजन वी यूज लाइक दिस. यू वर्क विद एना, डोंट यू? सो A thinks it is true and B works with Anna. Yes, that's right. Jill is not very old, is she? A thinks that Jill is not very old. So that is the reason with the affirmatives we are going to use in. That's the type that we are going to use there. Okay. The second type of question tag consists of an affirmative main clause and an affirmative tag. You are John's sister. Are you? अब यहाँ पे देखोगे not हटा दिया गया है.
कौन सी स्टैंड?
हाँ जी.
No, ma'am. I am reading now.
Okay, put yourself on mute. Now, अब यहाँ पे आप दूसरे तरह से जो क्वेश्चन टैग सब बताएंगे. अभी हमने नॉट वाला पूरा प्रैक्टिस कर लिया अच्छे से. अब बिना नॉट वाले को समझिए. सेकंड टाइप के अंदर है कि अफर्मेटिव मेन क्लॉज है और फिर उसके साथ में जो टैग है ना, वो भी उस बात को तय कर रहा है. सो मेन क्लॉज कह रहा है यू आर जॉन्स कजन, आर यू? वहां पे आंट लगाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी, आप उसको अफर्म ही करके कह रहे हो. व्हेन वी कैन यूज टाइप टू टैग्स व्हेन वी डू नॉट नो इफ द आंसर इज यस और नो. अब आप सामने वाले से एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे हो कि वो हाँ ही बोलेगा इस चीज के चक्कर में या ना ही बोलने वाला है आपको. वहां पर आपको क्या करना है, द इनोटोनेशन इज यूजुअली अ राइजिंग टोन. मारिया लिव्स इन न्यूयॉर्क, डज शी? The speaker wants to know if Maria lives in New York or not. Yes, she does. So Maria lives in New York. Does she? She does comes as an answer because it is an affirmative kind of a tag which is added there. Practice करेंगे और clear हो जाएगा. चलिए. John smokes a lot. John smokes a lot. Please, very good boy. फटाफट से पकड़ा. क्यों? पहला तो शायद ये दिखा होगा कि वहां इज नहीं है, पर वहां पे कोई भी हेल्पिंग वर्ब है ही नहीं, तो वहां पे आपको डज ही उठाना था. चलिए नेक्स्ट पे आ जाइए. ट्राई दिस. ओके. कैन विश्वेंद्र गौर ट्राई टू रीड दिस सेंटेंस फॉर मी प्लीज? Vishwendra Gaur. Fatima, would you please come and read this sentence for me?
Yes, my mother has lovely hair, doesn't she?
Okay. विश्वेंद्र आप लेट हो गए. नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस आप पढ़ लीजिएगा. माय मदर हैज लवली हेयर, डजंट शी? कितने सुंदर है ना बाल उनके. You like this film we are watching? I intentionally took this, Vishwendra, because I want to explain this. you like this film, we are watching. Now here, watching is the only main verb and is the verb with us, right? So when you have only this particular verb, what is going to happen here? Just 1 second.
Don't you.
Yes, Vishwendra. Please
Yes, ma'am.
continue to read the sentence. Huh.
You like this film we are watching, don't you?
Don't you? Film बोलो आप. Film नहीं बोलो. Film मत बोलो. Film. हाँ, अब उसको हम मूवी ज्यादा अच्छे से बोलने लग गए, so we'll use that. You like this film we are watching, don't you? Now, because we are not having any auxiliary form, we are using this don't. Fatima, Krishna, Mandeep, Pradeep, Pratima, Siddhara, Shwareshwar, and Jagannatham, and Vishwa, this child here. Vishwendra Gaur, thank you for doing the needful for me. Thank you for reading it out. Aye. Okay, Paul, please come and read it. Aye, Paul, come forward.
He can't speak English very well, can he? Actually, मैं भूल दिए.
क्या बोले आप?
मैं बोल रही हूँ फर्स्ट वन इज राइट आंसर. मैं गलत चूज किया.
क्या चूज किया तुमने, पॉल?
मैं डज ही चूज किया
क्योंकि आपको लगा होगा खाली स्पीक है या मोडल वर्ब है ना, कैन अपने पास में.
हाँ,
तो फिर अपने पास वापस कैन ही लगेगा. यहाँ पे नॉट लगा हुआ है ऑलरेडी, तो नॉट लगाना नहीं है और फिर ही लगाना है. इजी था पॉल, इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है क्वेश्चन का. कम नेक्स्ट आ जाइए. हो सकता है मुझे लग रहा हो पॉसिबल. Krishna Reddy, are you there with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please read this?
Married.
Your brother isn't married, is he?
Correct, absolutely. Rajesh, Vishwan, thank you, Krishna Reddy. Rajesh, Vishwender, Krishna, Savan and Mandeep and Neeta. बाकी सब जो चैट पे लिख रहे हैं, मुझे कुछ नहीं पढ़ सकती हूँ, बार बार माफी मांग रही हूँ. Can't help it. I just cannot help it. Okay, she is the richest woman in the town, isn't she? Now is है, इसलिए auxiliary form को ही last में लगाया जा रहा है. Subject pronoun है she, so you are using it the same there. एक चीज को और ध्यान से देखिए, the sentence structure of question tag. थोड़ा सा structure नहीं, punctuation of question tag. Please check it. You start the sentence with a capital letter. You put a comma the moment you have to put a question tag, and then you put a question there. That's the way you are going to write your sentences. If you are framing it, if you are writing it for somebody, हाँ, इसको ऐसे frame करिएगा. चलिए आगे आइए. So Vishwender, Savan and Paul, we should leave before it gets dark. Should आ गया है हमारा modal verb. So again we have should, and then because we have the pronoun only there with us, so we have to straight use be there with the not section there. Vishwendra, Savan, Paul, Mandeep, Jagannath and Neeta have given us the right answer. Savan, are you ready for us? Savan? Okay. Vishwendra Gaur, can you read this again? Vishwendra, can you read this sentence for me, please?
You would like a cup of tea, would not you?
अच्छा, ऐसे बोलो. You would like a cup of tea? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't
You would like a, okay ma'am. You would like a cup of tea, wouldn't you?
हाँ, अब वुडू नहीं करो. वुडू की साउंड नहीं आनी चाहिए. You would.
Would.
अब यहाँ पे जो तुमने यू के बाद डी के लिए apostrophe ऊपर आ रहा है ना, वो वुड को दिखा रहा है, राइट? पर प्रोनाउंसिएशन में वुड को, नॉट प्रोनाउंसिएशन, एक्सप्रेशन के अंदर वुड को पूरा बोलो. You would like a cup of tea? Wouldn't you?
You would.
हाँ?
You would like a cup of tea, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, बिल्कुल परफेक्ट. ठीक है, चलिए. I'm just trying to reload again and again if I can speak to the students who are typing something there. Okay, so Paul, once more I'm calling you here. Please come and read it.
They mustn't go too near the lake.
They must not go too near to, must not go too
Must
near
not.
the lake. Must they? अब यहाँ पे MUST जो शब्द है ना पॉल,
हाँ
ये एक ऐसा शब्द है जो ये काम जरूरी, मतलब ये तो करना ही वाला होता है ना एक स्टेटमेंट, ये वो स्टेटमेंट, ये वो शब्द है। अब इस शब्द को अगर तुम कॉन्ट्रैक्शन में लिख दोगे या बोल दोगे, लिखने नहीं बोल दोगे, तो उसकी फीलिंग चली जाती है। मसंट करूंगी तो सामने वाले को फीलिंग प्रॉपर नहीं जाएगी। और मैं यू मस्ट सिट डाउन टू स्टडी, तो जो मस्ट वर्ड है उसका जो जोर दे रहे हैं उस सामने वाले को अच्छे से सुनाई देगा। यहाँ पे स्पीकिंग पे थोड़ा सा ध्यान दीजिएगा, मसंट मत करिए उसको। दे मस्ट नॉट गो टू नियर द लेक, मस्ट दे?
यस,
ठीक है।
दे मस्ट नॉट गो टू नियर बाई लेक, मसंट दे।
हाँ, अब यहाँ मसंट करो ही मत, मस्ट
दे
नॉट, इसको अलग अलग पढ़ो।
ओके,
जैसे अभी अपन ने यू वुड वाले को मैंने बोला, यहाँ पर भी मैंने बोला यूडू नहीं करो, उड़ू नहीं करना। यू के बाद वुड को पूरा खोलो और उसके बाद में वुड को भी दोबारा खोलो, और नॉट को यहां तुम वुडंट कर सकते हो। ये स्पीकिंग एक्टिव स्किल्स जो है ये वक्त के साथ ही सीख पाते हैं कि कौन सी चीज रखनी है, कौन सी छोड़नी है। Rajesh, are you there with me?
Yeah,
Please read it out.
I will see John tomorrow. Won't you? Will not you? Aren't you? Won't you?
Okay, Rajesh, thank you. Gautam, get ready. You will have to read it out.
Yeah, ma'am. Third one is the right answer. We won't be going to that restaurant again, will we?
We won't be going to the restaurant again, will we? अब यहाँ पे won't है, भूलिएगा नहीं, won't यहाँ पर है तो ये will होगा। अगर we will be going लिखा होता कि वहां पे फिर क्वेश्चन टैग बन जाता won't। Savan, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, please read the sentence.
Let's try and call her again, shall we?
Okay, it's call, not call. Let's try and call her again, shall we? Savan, Vishwendra, Paul, Fatima, Rajesh, and Jagannath Dham have given us the right answer. You have seen this film already, haven't you? अब यहाँ पे देखो you के बाद में कॉन्ट्रैक्शन है तो भी मैंने उसको खोल के बोला you have seen this film because we want to emphasize on the word have. जैसे हम वहाँ emphasize कर रहे थे must, you must watch this movie. Have you seen this movie? So because the emphasis has to be there while I'm speaking, I have to open it. But when I'm writing it, I can put that contraction there. So you have seen this film already, haven't you? That's the way we are going to use our speaking ability for this section. Fatima, get ready. Let them do the choice. Let them practice it. Ajay.
You are saying.
Relax, Fatima.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry for this. Never. Read it, Fatima. If you are comfortable, go ahead.
Saying Emmy next week, aren't you?
Okay, you are seeing Amy next week, aren't you? I appreciate that you are able to handle so many things at one time, but you know, sometimes multitasking can be a little strenuous for you. So
Yeah,
try and
it
do
is.
everything at one time. Okay, Fatima, it's okay. Perfectly fine. Next. Gautam, come forward and read this.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm not speaking first at the meeting. Am I?
I think he read, but his internet connection was not clear to us. I am not speaking first at the meeting. Am I? अब ये एक इस तरह की कंफर्मेशन नहीं होती है जब आप किसी से लेना चाहते हैं. देखिए इसीलिए ये क्वेश्चन टैग्स बहुत कम में आते हैं. Quite important. This is the last slide that I have for you all. Okay. Krishna Reddy, come for my rescue.
This was an interesting exercise, wasn't it?
So I'm asking the same for you from you all. Was it interesting or was it boring again? Easy था या नहीं था ये वाला सेक्शन हमारा आज?
मैम इसको कैसे बोलेंगे? Was not it या wasn't it?
Wasn't. This was an interesting exercise, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Okay.
Okay. Let's check कौन कहाँ पे कितना पहुंचा. It's like just, I think today also we have just the 5 Siddharameshwar 780. भाई कहाँ से मिल जाते हैं तुमको 780? इतने तो coins ही नहीं थे हमारे पास. Vishwendra is on the top there, 119 coins. Shabash Vishwendra. Fatima 112. Wow. Rajesh with 110 and Savan with 107 coins. Very good. Great going. It's a pleasure to see you people all here. Please join me every day. I take session 1 to 2. Rajesh, 1 second. 1 to 2, I take your sessions on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you are looking for joining me on Zoom, type my name VWNA1010. But let me tell you, I just teach basic English. Yes, Rajesh, come.
World means previous videos English tutorial adverb position adverb that video is not found. Actually, it's not loading in the previous videos is there in this.
This is something which I will forward it, but technically you will have to talk to, you will have to write it somewhere. I'll tell you premium.
No, there is no feedback or help option is there in the Hello Learning English app.
Okay, so they are not letting you, they are not giving you anything of this sort.
There is no option for contacting a technical team or customer care like that. There is no option for.
Okay.
Position adverb that video slide is not loading after the 6th and 7th slide, and position adverb video is not found.
I will talk to them about it and get back to you, Rajesh. Okay?
Okay.
मैं बात करती हूँ उस पे. ठीक है?
Yeah.
Let me see if I get an answer for this. Okay? Thank you so much for letting me know that. Bye everyone. This is Veena signing from Hello English. Please join me again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Yes, Fatima, tell me. Fatima,
Nothing, and goodbye.
अच्छा,
Just
Hello, good afternoon, Monica.
Good afternoon, ma'am.